they're both native desert plants. The mesquite, it's not only mesquite that will get mistletoe, also acacia, and you'll find it in Palo Verde sometimes. And you'll even find it, I've seen it in creosote, that desert mistletoe. But as I say, they're all native plants, so they're kind of evolved to get along with each other. And the fact that the tree is helping out the mistletoe is not necessarily a bad thing for either of them, although I guess the mistletoe doesn't really give anything to the tree. It's kind of a one-way street. Years old, whatever starts to get its first flowers. Once it starts to flower, this takes more energy for the plant. It takes energy to flower. So therefore it's got a finite amount of energy that it produces, so some of it comes out of growth and goes into flowers. So it's now not growing as fast, so therefore it tends to narrow. So presumably at the point where it bulges, that's when it started to get its first flowers, and therefore the subsequent plant is narrower. Chain fruit. The genus of cholla has changed. Prickly pear and cholla used to both have the same genus, which is Opuntia. This has the genus Cylindro Opuntia. Cylindro because the stems are cylindrical, these guys, as opposed to prickly pear where the pads are flat. So they felt, because to differentiate those two types, that's they call this Cylindro Opuntia, and the prickly pear is Opuntia. Rabbits will eat prickly pear. Javelina, of course, javelina will shred them. The pads, they're succulent, just like the saguaros. They store water, but they're not nearly as efficient as a saguaro at doing it. So they're much less drought tolerant than saguaros are. But on the other hand, they grow much more readily. So you can just cut off a pad from a prickly pear, stick it in the ground, and it'll grow. And it does have spines. Anyone know the difference between spines and thorns?
One's a leaf, the other is outgrowth the stem branch.
Yeah, exactly.
Say that again?
The spine is the midrib of the leaf, essentially, when the leaf disintegrates and it leaves the spine behind. So a spine is a leaf structure, whereas the thorn comes out from a different part of the stem.
Pronounce it again?
You want the scientific name? It's Jatropha with a J.
Jatropha?
Yeah, I think it's PHA.
Okay, what's the genus?
This is Cardiophylla. Cardiophylla means heart-shaped leaf.
Leaves, yeah.
So it's got heart-shaped leaves.
There's the fruit, the seeds, and then I'm going to look. And what is this probably? It's got the little fruits on it. You can still see some of the flowers. And this is one of our smellers. So if I have a group of kids I'm taking, for some reason, they got 3 good smellers. The turpentine, the creosote, and this one's got an odora. And it smells very parsley-ish.
I think it's
and actually, I think the natives used to use it to repel some insects. So there's your hedgehog. So you got your staghorn here. Okay, now who is talking chain fruit?
I said that.
Now look at the big fat mammillaria. See how it's real lumpy? So that's really a pretty good chain fruit right there, even though you can't see any chains of fruit right now. But it doesn't have that teddy bear cholla, sort of lots of silvery spines. So that one isn't a hybrid, really. It's fruit. So we can't see it. Some of these are still turning green. What is this one?
A saltbush.
It is. It's a 4-winged saltbush. Look at the fruits, have 4 wings. They're really lightweight. They can fly through the air. That's how they disperse themselves.
So this is the female one, and the male one is over there.
And look up here. What's that? Big, right in here.
Oh, hackberry.
Yep, the hackberry. And you can't see the fruit right now anymore, but you can see the zigzag of the different branches. And right around here, there's
So
only
what is this?
one of it that I
This is
know
four-leaf,
of.
Four-wing sulfur.
four-wing sulfur?
Salt bush.
Salt
Salt,
bush.
salt
Actually,
bush.
if you ate one of
And-
those
and
little things,
It
would
actually
taste like
will
salt.
grow in more brackish soil,
Uh-huh.
and it takes this salt out of soil.
Here is a little red fruit, and what's it on? What's that?
That's a Christmas.
Christmas cactus.
Okay, it's a cholla and it's a Christmas cactus. But right next to it, which you all know the Sacred Datura, right?
Yes.
Yes.
This is the only one I know of. I'm sure there's others, but like you find me one. This is the annual Datura. Now look how the leaves are smaller than the Sacred Datura, and the fruit here, instead of having tons of spines all over, there's a lot of space between the spines. So you can recognize spines. So you can recognize it. Number one, the leaves are smaller. Number two, you hardly find any in Sabino Canyon that I know of. And then number three, the spines are going to be fewer and farther between.
And you're calling it annual?
Annual Datura.
An annual. Okay.
So Sacred Datura, but still a member of the nightshade family, still, poisonous. Even, people say, oh, don't touch it, it's poisonous. Well, some people get contact dermatitis, not very many, but it's the eating of the parts that would. What kind?
Cat claw.
Okay, so we got our cat claw acacia right here, and you see the mimosa type leaves, the acacia type leaves, and you get up and you either see white thorn, you're gonna see gold ball, you're gonna see, in this case, cat.
Tosh,
Yeah.
the bird's nest here in the Ocotillo is over here. Is that a curved bill or is that a...
If it's sticky, it's a curved bill. If it's branchy, grassy, it's a
Cactus wren.
cactus wren.
wren.
So plus we can look at it. Does
looks
it have
like
a
a
long
cactus
tunnel
wren.
going down it? So your odora and your
Turpentine.
turpentine. So smell.
Yes.
It is.
Is that what you were going to say?
I was woohoo.
So that's turpentine bloomed.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Boy, it looks so different.
I know.
Yeah.
But still, look at the flowers behind here. And then if you look at it, you got the piney type. That's why the one that we saw, if you're talking about Strike It Rich, you're talking about geology, look at the curving here. You've got a lot of wilderness granite, but you've got your dark and your white. You got a big intrusion of feldspar. If I'm teaching 5th and 6th, this is perfect. Number one, it's got the curves. Number two, it's got your rocks. Number three, this is the best. You can show erosion and weathering, because all of it should have that dark face, the desert varnish. But you see white areas. Well, what happened? Pieces of rock broke off, and I can see it down here. So it's a really good example. So I take my mirror, and I can show you this face right here is all dark. All of this rock is the same age. It should have all the same. But then you get up here, and especially right up there, and you've got weathering and erosion. So it's a really good thing to have a mirror, two things, mirror, magnet, and magnifying glass.
Huh.
And, you can have a flashlight, but there's going to be times when, this is going to work a lot better, because we usually have the sun. And look, there's a lizard over here, or here's this. I don't have to go all the way over. I can say, okay, what's this, instead of being right to it. And look at the height. I can even go pretty far up. Look at the saguaro.
Still hasn't branched.
So, and I haven't used a laser pointer that's going to hurt somebody or something, and I've used something natural. And plus, if I get lost, I can